All right, Vannifar. Vannifar, for those not familiar, is this card, which pays homage to the card Birthing Pod. That's an old card that was once legal in Modern and now banned. So we play a bunch of different utility creatures in this deck to pod into other different creatures that provide varying amounts of value and utility. It's a blue-green deck, so we've got some Hydroid Krasis in here naturally. We got 4 copies of Bugler, which finds almost every creature in our deck other than Lyra and Shalai. And I do like the inclusion of both of these cards just because they're powerful tools to get in the format that are good in a variety of different spots. So let's go ahead and just dive into some matches, shall we? With the Wildgrowth Walker package present to give us a reasonable shot against most aggro decks. Vannifar is an ooze, so when you pod something into an ooze, she gets bigger too, which is fun. Seeing super reasonable, just the Wildgrowth Walker start. Get your timeout. Tame the Tilted, thanks for the support. Welcome. Enjoy your break. Smug.exe, thanks for the Prime support. Thanks, Deputy of Detention, bucks this way this month. Someone asked where we finished yesterday. Apparently it is 96%, so see if we can do some climbing today or not. Right on time, Llanowar Elves. The Jeskai aggro deck was attached to an exceptionally large donation with the request that it be played on a specific day. So I believe the date is March 21st that was requested. It's noted in the notes column in the deck queue. So if you make an exceptionally large donation, usually $50 or more, I will let you dictate which day your deck gets played. And I only do that for exceptionally large donation, because if I did it for every donation, I'd be trying to line up too many things perfectly. It just gets hard to do with too many submissions. Happy Thursday, MJ. They are playing the Phoenix build. Not doing a whole lot to start, though. Wildgrowth Walker and Jadelight both providing a reasonable amount of pressure here. Start by attacking for 6, and then just probably play Sunpetal Grove and then play Vannifar. Have a shock. They did not have a Lava Coil for my Wildgrowth Walker on 2. However, they've seen a bunch of cards via Discovery and Charticore since then, so there's a good chance that Vannifar does die here. Wow, no respect for the pod mom, huh? I'm going to go ahead and get Shalai here, because she protects Prime Speaker Vannifar from the Beacon Bolt flashing back. She's likely going to die this turn, but she does protect Vannifar in the meantime. Watching since I started playing competitively a year ago, just got to the point where I could subscribe. Watching you has made me a better player. Well, thank you, Smug.exe. I appreciate the support. I'm glad to have you here. Did they hit a second Phoenix yet? They did not, so that's good for us. So I get to go... Huh, well now we just do that, right? So I need to decide what am I fetching with Vannifar. It might just be a Merfolk Branchwalker. I think it's actually just Merfolk Branchwalker. Is it Zegana? Zegana off of Jade. Pod Elf into a second Walker. Oh, I like that idea, actually. That's the winner. And I hit a land here. So I get to play this Bugler as well. Do I want Deputy of Detention? I kind of want Deputy of Detention. Is that crazy? I don't think that's crazy. Got some propane and propane accessories. So I think I'm going to pod Llanowar Elves into a Branchwalker here. That lets my Wildgrowth Walkers attack into the Crackling Drake. Sorry, into a Merfolk Branchwalker. I said Wildgrowth Walker. I meant Merfolk Branchwalker. This one. Go exploring. They've had enough. Alright. Alright. That's enough for them. I'm glad we won game 1, because we... Do I board in anything here? Is Vivien Reid good enough, I guess? Ooze is a little bit mediocre. Maybe Vivien Reid's good for killing Crackling Drake. I'm going to trim this because it's just a 4/4 that dies to Lava Coil. Yeah, I think so, Sunshine. Next time they're gonna kill Vannifar, most likely. Seems super reasonable. I'm going to prioritize getting my tapped land down first, rather than getting a point of damage in here. I think we want to prioritize our health as the game goes along. Again, not 100% sure on that. Looks like they kept a bit of a speculative hand here without red mana, and have conceded because they did not get paid off. Seems a little ambitious to keep a hand like that without a Discovery or a Chart of Course or something like that. Be a wee bit ambitious. It is very squishy, I agree. It's like saying the word moist. It's just like it's like the word moist embodied by a sound effect. That's what it is. Alright, our hand is okay here against some aggro starts. They're super aggressive. We might get run down on the draw here. We'll see how this goes. We'd love to draw Wildgrowth Walker next turn, so we can just have, like, you know, the nuts Wildgrowth Walker into Jadelight, because that's obviously great against any kind of aggro. Otherwise, though, we do have, like, Branchwalker into Bugler, into eventually getting to Tristani. The triple 1-drop start with Legion's Landing is going to be pretty tough. Not the walker I wanted for Christmas. Bugler. Bugler's going to give us the ability to dig for a Wildgrowth Walker, though, which is nice. Notably, we are currently missing blue mana, but we don't have any blue spells, so we just, like, do our best green-white deck impression. I think I'm going to bin that for the time being, because I don't have blue mana. Getting a 3-2 here is kind of nice, because it means I can block their 1-1s inside of combat, assuming there's no Lord. If they play the card that gives all their stuff +1/+1, I'll go ahead and trade with their 3-2. Probably see them flip Legion's Landing here. So get to go ahead and take their 1-1 off the table on this combat step, which is decent. Take 3 down to 16. If their last card's just another 1-drop, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. So, like, they have some good top decks here that can pull them out of this, but I definitely feel like we're ahead at the moment, especially curving up into Tristani here eventually. It's unfortunate that we keep drawing non-blue lands. Biogenic Ooze is actually fine, because we're going to hit 5 lands on time, so we should get to, like, curve, like, Jadelight next turn into 5s. We're going to be in a good spot. So they are 1 permanent away from Stubhorn Sentry becoming a 3-3. We're looking to dodge removal spells and things that give all of their creatures +1/+1. Looks like they found an elephant. An elephant never forgets, chat. It's a biggin. So do I just play a 4-3 this turn? I think I just play a 4-3 this turn. They get to make a 1-1, and then next turn I play Tristani, followed by... Actually, maybe I play Biogenic Ooze next turn, because Biogenic Ooze makes 2 3/3s. Let's wait and see what they draw. Hopefully, if they can draw a land for a turn or two, we should be able to stabilize. If they keep drawing gas, we're going to be in trouble, though. Oh, Magic's a crock sometimes. Magic's a crock sometimes. Not a whole lot you can do. Biogenic Ooze is slow. I think I'm gonna cut the Krasis. Is that the plan? I don't know that that's true, Haplar. Like, I feel like, so let's talk about that conclusion. So Haplar there just said, this feels like you have to draw a Wildgrowth Walker matchup, and I kind of disagree with that assessment. If you, like, look back at that game we just played, like, you shouldn't evaluate what your deck needs to do against your opponent's best possible draws, right? Like, that game, we were in a great spot, and then they drew a good card, and we were still in an okay spot, and then they drew one of their best possible cards and killed us. And, like, yes, it feels bad and it sucks to have your opponent run you out drawing some of their best possible cards, but, like, you don't want to draw conclusions from, like, your opponent's best possible draws what you need to be doing, right? Like, the difference between winning and losing that last game is, like, my opponent drawing a land or another 1-drop on one of those 2 draw steps at the end, as opposed to 4-4 that made their team bigger, and then another card that made their team bigger, right? Like, the matchup is just night and day. That game is just night and day different if they just, like, either of those draw steps are different. And that's one of the things why it's so difficult to look at Magic games objectively and take a step back and think about, like, okay, is what just occurred here the average case scenario, or is what just occurred here a them hitting what they needed in my deck just coming up, you know, being too slow because I didn't have my best possible draw. This hand was a little bit speculative, getting paid off by drawing the Hinterland Harbor for sure. Would really like to draw another land here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Baffling End the Tithe Taker. Would really like to draw, really wanted to draw a Knight of Autumn or a land there. Given that variance, how do you effectively tune decks? Experience. Just like thinking critically about what's happening in your games and trying to derive meaningful conclusions by thinking critically about it. Take a step back and go, did it matter what my opponent drew there, or was this actually a really close game, or just like a couple of things at the end broke my opponent's way? And like looking at that first game, I think it definitely falls into the secondary camp there. If this game was incredibly close, but my opponent had a couple of good breaks. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and play Jadelight Ranger this turn. Digging for another land here. And then next turn, we would get to Knight of Autumn, kill their Conclave Tribunal, and then Deputy would take out their Knight tokens. Hey, Pengu Power, thanks for the tip, I appreciate it. Whoop. Donation to put my deck idea into the queue. Will do, I'll get that updated at the end of the stream today. Thanks for the support. And I think I'm happy with how we sideboarded, so I'm going to go ahead and run it back. And like that sorting variance out to draw meaningful conclusions, hopefully, is one of the most important skills to have as a deck builder and tuner. And it's one of the things that keep people who have been playing Magic for so long coming back again and again and again, because it's not this super easy skill to have. This hand has a lot of potential. Even if we don't hit that was a great draw. Even if we don't hit Explore creatures right away, just like having Wildgrowth Walkers as 1/3s is pretty reasonable. I actually might shock in this Temple Garden and Bugler onto here, I think. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Or we'll just play that. Hopefully find an Explore creature with this. Prime Speaker. I'm gonna take Prime Speaker. Punt Count Infinity. Thanks for all the content over these many months. For this month, let's take another ride on Fairy Podmother's Wild Ride. Thank you. Thank you for the support. I would be happy to get that one back in the queue. Thanks for keeping me around. So, this is definitely just Breeding Pool 2/4, right? And then next turn, if they don't kill the Fairy Pod Mother, we can go Walker, Walker, Pod Elf into a Branchwalker, gain 6. So we're hoping for no Conclave Tribunal here. Oh, jeez. Well, that's technically... That's not a Conclave Tribunal, I guess. Yikes. I'm gonna go grab Shalai here. And then next turn I can actually start activating Shalai, which is sweet. Marshall, Marshall, Marshall. Yeah, they really don't want to attack with the Honor Guard. I will dogpile the crap out of that one. These Wildgrowth Walkers will bury them in the ground. Marty. Good morning, Marty. Good after. It's still morning on the East Coast. I hope you're having a good one. I heard SCTR sub count earlier, and I want to bury him. Well, welcome to the many who have been given the gift of speech. Thanks for hanging out in Hooglandia. Hope you're having a good one. Alright, I think the Pod Mother is going to turn one of these into a 3. I don't really have any good 3s here at the moment, so I'm just kind of thinning the deck out. I wonder if it's possible I'm supposed to not pod this turn so I can have a 4-6 Vannifar back on defense. That's brutal. Yeah, I think I messed up there. Yeah, honor guard's real good. Not hitting a Baffling End's real bad for us. Oh. Dude Light, thank you very much for the very generous tier 2 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. There's an honor guard in play. My enter the battlefield effects don't do anything. Chat, there's the whole reason we're losing this game is why Deputy doesn't work. So I'm just dead, right? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm just dead. I have to block everything now. Yeah, obviously I have to play out 2 blockers, but like, I don't think I have lines that win the game from here, right? I'm trying to think like, I'm not just thinking about how do I not die this turn, because obviously I can play my creatures and not die. The question going through my head is like, how do I turn the corner and actually win from this position afterwards? I guess if they attack with everything, I get to chump block these, this eats this, and then I eat some of their other things because they shrink. I can't activate Prime Speaker Vannifar this turn because I need 6 blockers because all their creatures are lethal. I think this attack is actually okay for us. So this attack means that this dies, and then this dies, and then this dies, and I'm losing these 2. So they're losing 2 things, I'm losing 2 things, but my board's bigger. So like their board gets smaller, and my whole board. So if they don't have another threat here, we're in a good spot. And if they do have a threat, any draw from me is okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I can't kill Honor Guard in that exchange, I agree. I could, like, hit them with Shalai and then pod for Lyra, but I don't think that's very good. And I need to just pass again here. It's unfortunate we didn't draw a creature there. If I had drawn a creature, I could have activated Shalai. Thankfully they're missing here, too. Do I just start hitting them in the air? I don't think I want to... I think I just do this and hit them in the air. I think I just want to turtle up on the ground. Because if I activate this, I lose to Conclave Tribunal on this. And, like, remember, this is a game, like, again, like, this game is super close, and they have one of their most powerful hit cards, and I haven't been able to draw an answer to it. Which, like, this game is super close, considering that as well. That's true. Maybe this is a reason to leave Krasis in my deck. Just because Krasis is good against Honor Guard. They're down to 13 here. Tasty, thanks for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. What'd they choose to protect? Marshall. So if I attack with this, they have 6, we have 6. I think this is the most time I've ever activated a Shalai in a game. They need double removal to kill us here. They didn't have it, so we won. That was sweet. That was really sweet. Nah, the Brainstone Merfolk is better for when you're potting up over the curve, I think. Like, obviously it's better against Tocatli Honor Guard, but, like, assuming we're going to draw one of our Baffling Ends is probably not unreasonable. Turn 1, Llanowar Elves. Snap it off. That's actually pretty sweet. We get to go turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Knight as a 4-3, turn 3 4-4 draw card. I get to be pretty aggressive here on the play. Fat bottom girls make the rockin' world go round, okay? Heard that in a song once. And this is, I think this is actually the exact style of draw we need to win this match game 1. Just like pressure, pressure, pressure. One of the best ways to beat mono blue isn't interacting with them, it's just jamming all your threats down their throat. If they pass leaving up a 2-mana counterspell here, I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and attack with my Knight of Autumn. Maybe I should attack with the Elf too. I don't know that I want to run my Elf into a Merfolk Trickster necessarily though. So I'm intentionally not playing this out because I don't want it to get counterspelled. Should have maybe done that pre-combat and then attacked with this. So I'm pretty sure I missed a point of damage. Alright, now I'm going to attack with both. I think I'm just passing here. I'm just playing a land and passing. I just don't want them to get value out of their counterspells, basically. I'm ahead on board and winning the race by a significant margin, so I want them to have to make a move before I do. And, like, let's say I draw a 2 or 3 mana creature next turn, I can then have a double spell turn, which would be great. Remember that time I missed a point of damage on turn 3? Pepperidge Farm remembers. That's a fantastic draw. Oh, you know, this is wrong. I should have, are they triple blocking? Oh, they're triple blocking and then they're gonna dive down. I'm gonna elect to kill the Pteramander, because that one becomes the scariest in the long run. No, they're just trading. Wow. Wow, okay. Huh. Deal. Alright, here's my pod mom. Let's go! Maybe I'm just supposed to play my 4-4. Maybe I'm just supposed to play my 4-4 there. I'm probably just supposed to play my 4-4 there. Yeah, I could have turned it into an 8-8. That being said, this is happening, so I think we should be good to go. Wow, they had a retort and didn't counter the Wildgrowth Walker. That's impressive. So, like, next turn we turn Branchwalker into Jadelight Ranger and crunch them. Terry's turned into a 5-5. Are we done here? Thanks, Zilla. Yeah, I feel like this game was a great example of the play and counterplay that decks often have against mono blue that people fail to recognize. Like, we cut our opponent off mana efficiency a lot in the early turns and ended up getting really rewarded for it. My opponent was very obviously passing with mana up to counter my spells, and I just said, no, I'm ahead on board, so that's fine. Like, that resolves. Like, that's fine. Like, just attack you and pass. Just attack you and pass. We did win the match against White Weenie. It was a really, really good match of Magic. This is not a Biogenic Ooze matchup. This is not a Tristani matchup. This is not a Zegana matchup. Shalai and Lyra both seem great. Deputy of Detention seems great. I wonder if I'm supposed to trim some pod moms in this matchup. Maybe Knight's not good enough. I get that it was okay there, but maybe this actually isn't good enough. Leave one to gain life with on occasion. How do we feel about this? I think I like this. I think this seems reasonable. Drag my curve down, bring in some removal. It does eat Obsession, that's true. So, like, what should I be cutting, though? Am I supposed to just, like, trim on the pod moms? Maybe I'm supposed to go off the Vannifar plan. I could see that. Like, I could cut the Riverwise Augur and the third fairy pod mother for 2 more nights. I think the fact that Dovin's a 3-mana card that gets Spell Pierce makes him too much of a liability. This hand's fine. Not amazing, but fine. Needs to draw some lands. We've got a bunch of explore creatures to try and find some of those. You trim Bugler because you're boarding out hits. Maybe. That's true. This card, like, the value from this card isn't super relevant to this matchup. And, like, again, going back to role assessment and how we want to prioritize things. In this game, I'm not on the board, and my hand is full of threats, and they are on the board, so I'm just heading to the Space Jam. Just every turn, we're just like, put my thing, just like hoping for something to work out here. The Llanowar Elves is actually a really good draw here, because it allows me to generate a double spell turn. Lets me play Merfolk Branchwalker and then Llanowar Elves, so that way I still get something on the board and get ahead a little bit. So having double spell turns early is very key in matchups like this from my experience. They are often choking themselves and only doing one meaningful thing, so anytime you get to do two meaningful things in a turn, it's a big deal. So you'll note that I tapped the Llanowar Elves there to, I tapped the Llanowar Elves to play the Jadelight Ranger. And the reason why I did that is so this way if I drew a non-white land, I could still cast Baffling End this turn. The list is really weird. It really is, party. So, I currently lack a second white source, which is one of the many reasons why I've been that Wildgrowth Walker. I want a Bugler before I play Merfolk Branchwalker, because if Merfolk Branchwalker leaves a creature on top of, a thing on top of my deck that I would like to draw next turn, I'd like to have to not get rid of it. This could have potentially been a Knight of Autumn, which probably would have been a little better here than Riverwise Augur is going to be. Bottoms up. Sign me up. That is not a white source for my Lyra. That's true. It could maybe find us a white source, but that's like a really slow route to a white source. Alright. It's not the Stone Cold Worst, I guess. Order the cards. Top, bottom. Look at that. Look at that brainstorm interface. Go. Go, Gadget Arena. Well, I guess they're dead on board here, huh? Which is like pretty decent. So the important thing to know, Herbsman, is that the decks that I'm playing on stream aren't really strictly a representation of decks that I like or dislike in the format. So a lot of the decks that we play on stream are viewer-submitted deck lists, so I'm just playing the things that people put in my deck queue for the most part. Alright, well, if their last card's not a protection spell, we're in an okay spot. So I get to Deputy the Siren Storm Tamer. So it's going to depend on what their last card is here. Close game, considering we're missing our second white source. Yoink. Okie doke. Yeah, I agree. The blue splash version of Angels has been the best one I've played by a mile. They are exactly dead. Block a 2-power thing, take 4. Close game. Close game. They must have been holding that deep freeze for something bigger and then ended up getting kind of punished for doing so, since we got them with the Exexies here. How are we doing, folks? Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you're someone who enjoys standard best of 3 constructed with sideboards, this is definitely the channel for you. This deck, like many of the decks we play on this channel, is a viewer-submitted deck list. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without my wonderful subs, so big shout out to all of them, as always, for keeping me in play. I'd also like to mention some of my wonderful sponsors here. The Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series is a $5,000 cash tournament series that happens every single month in the Midwestern United States. If you can't make it out to the Midwest to play in one of their standard, modern, or legacy tournaments, be sure to check out their streaming coverage as well at twitch.tv/NRG series. Lucid Sound is the maker of my wonderful headset here. If you head on over to lucidsound.com, you can save 20% on a brand new headset with them, plus get free shipping by using code TEMPO. Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bars using code HOGLAND at bit.ly/HugoBar. You can save 10% on all of your orders there with them. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now, and I appreciate you choosing to spend part of your day here with us. We're head back on into another ladder match here with our Bant Vannifar deck. Kind of liking this one. It's a lot of fun. I agree, Monster. And if you are one of my many wonderful subs, make sure you are checking your email later tonight after I sign off today and do some of my other post-stream stuff. I'm going to be sending out a subscriber survey. You should get an email to your email account associated with your subscribed Twitch account that'll contain a link to that. Also, if you're in the subs Discord, I'll tag everyone on there with the survey later tonight when I have it up. Always like to get feedback, usually 3 or 4 times a year from the people that pay my bills, find out what kind of content they like, gives me an idea of what type of content to focus on making. Also, with changes like the sub-only chat, I like to get feedback on changes I'm making to the channel in that aspect. Yeah, Prime subs are identical to Tier 1 subs in every single way, or by no means second-class subs. I don't think the sub-tournament is going to happen, and maybe I should put a note about that, or at least not anytime soon. I just don't. The logistics of making it be good content are just too much at this point, without an in-client tournament handling. Oh, I think we just have to detain that one, right? One's a little scary. Does it feel like we should have more 4-drops to turn our Buglers into? I'm playing this deck right now, and only having Shalai, Zegana, Riverwise, 1H, it feels small considering we run 4 Buglers. So here's the thing, Dumping Truck. Anytime your Zegana is getting to activate a bunch of the time, you're probably pretty far ahead. So, like, maximizing your deck in a way that's kind of awkward in some situations to make your best card better is generally not a good way to approach deck building. So I agree we're a little bit light on 4s, but if you're sitting there activating Zegana multiple times and running out of 4s, you're probably winning the game regardless. Not even just in client tournament mode, but a in-client spectator mode would probably work too. So there's secondary websites for handling tournament pairings that do come with some complications, but when you factor in, like, there's complications from pairing the system, and then there would be complications getting to view matches because there's no spectator mode. So I feel like we either need an in-client tournament mode or an in-client spectator mode to make sub-tournaments feasible and not awkward to the point of being bad content. Croker, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hello from the fire department. Would you put these to Esper Divine? Definitely Esper. Definitely General Pancakes. I'll probably get that one built tonight. That one's getting pretty close to the top. What do I want to do here? I think it's just Branchwalker into Jadelight. I ideally want to commit some things to the board that don't die to finality. Fully Bugler, and waiting a turn to play my Bugler is nice because next turn I'll have 7 mana, which means I can Bugler into Vannifar and play Vannifar all in the same turn. Breed. I liked my cards. Well, Marty, you could probably argue they want to see everything in the deck queue because all the things in there have been added by them. Hey, Dude Light, thanks for the big tip. I appreciate it. Whoop. It's pay week, and I want to see more Abzan. Is that for, which Abzan is that for, Dude Light? For the Abzan hero deck? I think we're done at this point. They've got Deputy of Detention coming in next turn. Abzan hero, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Let's see, what is blue white hero at? If I had to venture a guess, I would assume this matchup's really bad for us. Just because their deck has a lot of high card quality things in it, and Hostage Taker is a total beating for the Bant colors. I don't even know that I want Baffling End, just because Baffling End doesn't exile Hostage Taker, which is the big thing that I want to be doing. Yeah, the problem with Sultai Vannifar is that it ends up just feeling like a bad version of Sultai mid-range Sharps. And that's something that I try to generally avoid when I'm building decks, is just building strictly worse versions of things that already exist. I want these Dovins. Trostani does kind of help with Hostage Taker, you're not wrong. Would it be possible to record a match and watch the VOD afterwards? Like, in what way? The problem is, it comes from, I have to collect recordings from lots of different people, Admiral. Is a big issue. So, like, there's logistical ways to do it, but they're complicated and clunky to the point where trying to manage them mid-stream is going to make for slow, tedious content with lots of downtime, which means it's just not good content at that point. I think you missed Dude Light's message. Yeah, no, I caught that. They said Abzan Hero. We're gonna do Abzan Hero after this one. Yeah, Dubs Jadelight. Let's do it. So, Vannifar's going away here, I assume. Oh, Party Bus. Yeah, Party Bus. Would you like a Party Bus today or tomorrow, Martin? Marty? What's your actual name, Marty? Can I say Martin short for Marty? Tomorrow's fine. Sounds good. It just, I think basically every decision I make regarding content has to be like I don't have enough time. Like, I'm scaling back a hot second at the moment just because there's too much going on. So, like, anything that I invest time and energy into has to end up being more, or possibly be more valuable than what I'm doing right now. And I really just don't think the effort to return ratio is going to be reasonable for a sub-tournament at the moment with the tools that we have. I think we're probably dead here. Oh, Krasis is pretty good. I plan to play two Amara. The 3 to 4 that we were playing before definitely felt a little bit clunky. They have, like, Frilled Mystic? Is that why we didn't cast my Wildgrowth Walker? Feels like they have Frilled Mystic or something here, huh? How do I feel about just passing? I'm actually just gonna pass. I feel like they have Frilled Mystic. These more controlling builds with Thought Erasure tend to play that card. Nah, I think if they had Contempt, they would have just used it on... Alright, and now I have to ask myself, what would I rather have Resolve? Would I rather have a Jadelight or a Bugler Resolve? I think I'd rather have Jadelight Resolve. Yeah, I agree. It feels like they have a Frilled Mystic here. Gosh, we're so smart and thin. Just the smartest and the thinnest. If they have an Explore creature here, we're in a lot of trouble, because they get to play my Wildgrowth Walker and then play an Explore creature and buffer their health total back up. Do I just Biogenic Ooze? Biogenic Ooze makes 2 3/3s for next turn. I guess Thief hitting me gives them a chance to find Explorer creatures to go with the Wildgrowth Walker. Which kind of sucks. Ooze does apply a lot of pressure. You are not wrong. Does that make this Deputy of Detention lethal? Sweet. Okay, so this ended up working out pretty well for us. So I get to... I did not shoot the sheriff, but I did shoot the deputy. And now they're forced to block with everything, right? Which means they lose the Incubation Druid. So like they're gonna get some okay trades here, but like they lose a lot of their board. Like their 2/3 can eat my 2/1, but then the Wildgrowth Walker and the Incubation Druid both die here. I think I want to save the Krasis for after a finality in case they hit that, especially with the ability to like hit the Biogenic Ooze here, because the Thief's a lot less scary now that the Wildgrowth Walker's gone, because the Thief can no longer hit an Explorer creature to pump everything up. And especially because I have the Ooze to make more mana with. I was gonna say, one of their best draws is Deputy of Detention here, so they get to take my tokens away. Are they taking my Ooze away again? Alright, what do you have? Because like all 3 of these are lethal, so they must have another removal spell, right? And then we will follow up with Hydroid Krasis, or they're just dead. Okay, sure. I think they're in a bad spot regardless there, even if they do take the tokens, so not super surprised. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. I'm gonna run it back. If they take the deputy, that other deputy was mine. Deputy can hit itself because it doesn't take your opponent's things. Eight, 12. There are 19 green sources in my deck. There are 19 green sources in my deck. I said it twice to reassure myself. We're gonna never draw a green source and die, but this hand's real good with the green source, so I'm gonna keep it. God bless us, everyone. So we're going to play this out for 2. And that they spend a removal spell on Krasis. Hopefully we draw land next turn and then Vivien shoot the Thief. Our hand's pretty okay here. If they take Vivien, kill Krasis, we're going to be in a tight spot though. Interesting. I wonder if they have Negate in their hand or a Disdainful Stroke. Weird that they wouldn't take Vivien. So really hoping to draw lands here. Sounds good, Sheriff. See you in a bit. Okay. And feeling pretty okay here. We're gonna have to, like, draw at least one card with this Vivien. Like, they drew a card with their thing. That's kind of scary.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
Okay, it's definitely just the Texas Ranger here, right? Gosh, do I get rid of that? I think I have to get rid of that. I think I just need lands. Did you get another Deputy of Detention off my deck? That seems to be the only card you can hit. Blessed are the subs, for they keep Jeff alive. What's going on, Weens? Thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back, and thanks for keeping me around. Find Finality be kind of bad for us. I guess Find Finality's not even the Stone Cold worst, because, like, my Wildgrowth Walker will live, and the next turn this gets big enough to, like, tango with this. The fact that they haven't just snap attacked Vivien here communicates to me that they don't have a removal spell. So I think if they ship the Carnage Tyrant into the Vivien, I'm going to double block. Do they have Find Finality and they're thinking about just picking up their They do have Finality, okay. So this leaves Carnage Tyrant at a 5 power, so Vivien is dead here. But then, like,
I'll be back.
I have a very large Texas Ranger, and I'm going up to 29. JK going even higher than that. Like, they're not gaining life currently. I think I'm supposed to bin that. I think the 6th land is really important here. And I know the worst part about binning these spells is that, like, they're going to hit a removal spell and then it feels like I'm doomed to flood here. Because I've binned a bunch of good spells trying to hit land drops. Shalai, sure. Yep. Alright, there goes my Krasis. Okay, so play out a second Texas Ranger here. I'm gonna go ahead and pod this into a Jadelight. Oh, I could go get Deputy of Detention, too. Maybe I'm supposed to do that. Laughing in Skull. Thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, and then this actually lets me attack with this Wildgrowth Walker, right? Like, they could double block, but then I still get their Carnage Tyrant off the table, so I think that's a win for me. I'm pretty wide around them. Because they can't activate this turn. They only have 3 5-mana. That is a great hit for us. We're at 44, so I don't have to worry about getting hit on the backswing. Howdy, Chalky. Oh, that's good. Oh, the secret text. Giddle, thank you for the very generous sub gifties. I hope you're having a good Thursday. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. I do love me some hidden mode. I do love me some hidden mode action. Oh, I didn't mean to put Wildgrowth back. I could have cast that. Yeah, whatever. Did you draw an answer to this? You didn't. You're about to be incredibly sad. Brainstormed incorrectly. Trigger. Trigger. Oh, yeah. Give it to me, baby. It's mine. It's mine. Give it to me, baby. It's mine. It's mine. Why wouldn't you kill my Tristani? Oh, no. They forgot about the hidden line, chat. They forgot about the secret text. Wow. Savage. Brutal. Wrecked. Yikes. Alright, so I've got some Wildgrowth Walkers left over. I've got some Wildgrowth Walkers left over that can no longer attack.
Will either be a tragedy or comedy of errors.
I mean, the flying creatures here from Dovin are like super relevant. This has been a heck of a game. Lots of swings. Had some good rips on both sides.
Constantly seek to innovate.
I thought submitting this pile of cards was going to be good, but I didn't imagine it would be this intense. We've had some really good games, Skittle. Alright, well, Llanowar Elves means they're not dead on board.
My inventions bring joy to me and
The fact that Tristani makes everything dance is really funny. I don't think cashing in Dovin to prevent lethal flyers was worthwhile. I don't think so. Just like the event they draw another removal spell, or like Vraska's Contempt, I'm incredibly sad. Did you hit Vraska's Contempt, friend? You did not. Alright. Survey says...
I am generally banned from gambling.
This is why I am generally banned from gambling. Dee-doo. Be-dee-dee-doo. Triggers. Whee! Triggers. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Boo-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I really like when we have an early contender for deck of the day. Just like we're just starting off and it's just like, well, this one's starting off the selection process strong. This looks like a combo deck, which probably means I want to be as aggressive as possible to start. That's why I took the Wildgrowth Walker, since I had these Explore creatures in hand. Yeah, double Walker and a triple Explorer is just infinite pressure. They're probably the Teamer, what's it called, deck? Anybody know? Let's get more specific than that. The Teamer whatever deck. Teamer Nexus. Teamer Expansion Explosion, basically. I think I want to cut Shalai and these. I definitely want these counter spells. This might be a Pod Mom out matchup, honestly. This is 35 creatures, but these don't get hit by Bugler. Bugler helps me hit these key pieces of interaction, which is nice, though. The health from Wildgrowth Walker isn't super important in this matchup, but the pressure it can provide is relevant a lot of the time. Biogenic Ooze is probably too slow. This at least makes all of our creatures bigger, which I think means it's worth keeping in. Let's give this a try. So this is 31 creatures in my deck, 3 of which can't get hit by Bugler, so it's 28 Bugler hits. It's probably okay. Yeah, Ooze is slow. Tristani adds pressure to the table the turn you play her, right? Like, you play her and then you attack for more immediately. I don't actually have that many 1s and 2s in this deck, and like Jadelight and a Frilled Mystic is kind of okay. Like, obviously I'd love to draw an elf or a 2-drop in our first 2 draws, but you think this is the range of keepable? I put it mulligan to 5 and scryed top. To be fair, Bugler math and Domri math are very similar, just because they're both only looking at 4 cards, although Domri you're trying to maximize to do 2, obviously. This does give them a window to stick Wilderness Reclamation, but I think it's important that I get pressure into play here. That gives me some reprieve against a Reclamation should they stick it this turn. I think they have it, and they're debating on if they want to play it into the Deputy. They debating just killing Jadelight Ranger, because the Jadelight Ranger is pressure here. It's like they need to strike a balance between not dying and like getting their engine pieces into play and keeping them there. That's interesting. Huh? Think I just do this. Hey, Absurito, thanks for the biddies. Hope you're having a good Thursday wherever you're at. Welcome, welcome. If they have a Lava Coil here, I'm a little bit sad about playing the Deputy aggressively. If they don't have a Lava Coil, I'm pretty ecstatic about it. If they don't get their Phoenix back this turn, we're just like holding up Frilled Mystic and attacking them. Oh, do they have a Shock too? Shivan Fire, sure. That makes a lot of sense. Is there no value in bluffing Negate? Yeah, I really don't think there's value in bluffing Negate. So one of the things you have to consider when you're talking about playing a card as a bluff or like making a bad play for the sake of bluffing is you have to ask yourself, can your opponent actually afford to play around your bluff? And in a lot of situations, your opponent can't afford to play around your bluff and they're just going to call. They're just going to be like, okay, if they have the thing, they have the thing, make you have it. Alright, so they shocked this in. So this represents Sinister Sabotage. I think I'm just going to pass for the turn. Man, this card was really good. I don't really have anything in my sideboard to hedge this that I don't already have in my deck, though. If they Chemister's Insight here, I think I'm going to Frilled Mystic. I'm basically Frilled Mysticking anything they cast at this point. D-Spires, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for shipping your Basil Bucks this way this month. So now that I drew this, I'm going to play this out into the Sabotage, potentially. So that way I can Deputy this. If they Sabotage this, we'll Deputy this, crack them to 4. And if they don't Deputy this, or if they don't Sabotage this, we'll just let it resolve. Hopefully find a green source. So we can hold up Frilled Mystic still. Perfect. So I just get to go ahead and pass. And then next turn, I get to Deputy of Detention while holding up Frilled Mystic, which puts us in a very good spot. Hey, Met Boy. Well, thanks for being here. I hope you're having a good one. Shock to 10. Well, that's good because it means my attack's now lethal, which is sweet. So start with this. They pause like they have another expansion explosion. Yep. Left a card on top. I think I'm supposed to put them to 3. Them putting a card on top makes smashing here scary. I mean, it can't be Niv because they don't have a 3rd blue. The problem with smashing and then smashing again here is if they have any way to interact here, I'm pretty far behind. Their last card's expansion explosion too. That's really bad for us. It's like now they get to do this and I basically have nothing. I guess it's not nothing. I guess I could hit a Deputy of Detention here actually. So if I take the Llanowar Elves, I can play it this turn. If I take the Wildgrowth Walker, I can pot it into Deputy of Detention's next turn, though. I have one Deputy left, right? I have a 3rd Deputy left in my deck. Old Hefner, thanks for the Prime support. Hope you're having a good one. Welcome, welcome. So you're shipping your Basil Bucks this way this month. Explosioning my Bugler here. Yep. Creature. Alright. We get Jadelight Ranger. might be pulling out of this game at this point. Well, thanks for the support, Hefner. Thanks for keeping me around. Great. Well, they're dead on board. It's a great drop. Forces their egg to chump block, and then I have Vivien to pump stuff out. That was close, especially considering the fact that my opponent mulliganed to 5 to start the game. I don't think we lost any matches of Magic in there. I'm pretty sure we started at 96% and then finished at 700 something. I don't really know that I have thoughts on things that I would change. I think I was pretty happy with everything that we did. I made one change before we started by putting a 4th Baffling End in the sideboard. But the rest of what we had going on here seemed pretty reasonable, and I was pretty content with it. Both Dovin and Vivien were reasonable when we boarded them in from the side, and the main deck felt reasonably trim. Deputy of Detention plus Wildgrowth Walker gives us just this little touch of interaction against aggro. And then we've got plenty of grind and different outlets of generating card advantage to kind of go toe-to-toe against control and mid-range. So if you're looking for a sweet Vannifar deck, this and both the Teamer one are really sweet. I might actually add this one to my website because it was really awesome. I have a Teamer Vannifar deck up there right now, but if you like more Pod Moms the merrier. This is a very popular card that people are excited